pretty much all they play on there is like hard bop, bebop,
Mhm.
big band, swing. I don't want to listen to that.
No bossa nova, no cool jazz.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I want it to be like fusion,
right.
you know, everything. So I replaced it on my preset. Do you guys want to know what I replaced it with?
What'd you replace it with?
I'd love to know.
Bossa Nova Station.
Oh,
So.
that kind of reminds me. About which of Jerry's tattoos do you think he's most embarrassed?
I think Jerry's most embarrassed of the hair tattoo.
Where is that one?
It's on his head. It's all over his head.
Yeah.
Because he got afraid that he was gonna go bald, and he wasn't really.
Yeah.
But they started doing that hair tattoo on his head anyway, and so he would be embarrassed if you got to see it. You probably won't, because he's got a pretty full head of hair.
Right.
I mean, now you're starting to get peaks.
Right.
But in the TV show, you don't really see it.
Gabe, which tattoo do you think
he would probably never admit it, but he did, previous to the end of the show, he did get a tattoo that said Seinfeld 1989 to 1999, because he was going for that 10 years, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
and they just didn't make it there.
Not quite.
They were cut off in their prime, some say.
But I think he kind of views it as like, you know, it's a marker to know that you can overcome those sorts of trials.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
your
do you
show
think
gets canceled?
Maybe he sort of counts the Seinfeld season in Curb Your Enthusiasm as like the 10th.
Maybe now, yeah. I learned about this
because maybe Larry David because Larry David, you know, quit the show, and then the show, whatever.
Right.
But so part of the reason it didn't go to 10 season is because of Larry David, right? We could probably say that safely.
No.
And so no,
they got canceled.
Yeah, they were straight up canceled.
Yeah.
Like they were,
but they might not have been canceled if Larry David was on it the whole time. So maybe I was thinking was Jerry's mad at Larry.
Hey, you know, they might not have canceled it if Arnold Schwarzenegger replaced Jason Alexander.
Exactly.
So which honestly that does sound kind of cool.
I would watch.
I had one more tattoo that I thought he might be embarrassed about, and that was the his diabetic tattoo
on his wrist.
Yeah, just because he's not diabetic. But he wanted to have it there in case.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he got it. He was concerned he might be diabetic.
In case he became diabetic.
And so then, then it came back that he wasn't, but he got it in the meantime. And
they were doing a 2-for-1 tattoo thing.
Yeah. He was like, I'll get my hair and the diabetic.
Yeah.
Very practical tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine was, I think it's his Bart Simpson saying "Ay caramba" tattoo.
Yeah.
Like where Bart's like yelling at his left nipple.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of embarrassed about it because he realized later that really the show ended up being much more about Homer.
Yeah.
And so that kind of thing is, you know, just not, he kind of latched onto Bart early.
Yeah.
And
committed.
But when you think Simpsons, you don't think Bart, you think Homer.
And when you think Simpsons merchandise, Simpsons icons, you think Homer.
Yeah, absolutely. Today on the show, Season 1, Episode 2, The Stakeout.
Everybody loves Seinfeld. Loves Seinfeld. George, Jerry, Kramer, and Elaine with Gabe, Caleb, and Josh.
Welcome to Everybody Loves Seinfeld. That's 1S, the podcast about Seinfeld, for Seinfeld. Hi, Jerry. I'm your host, Josh, and these pretzels are making me thirsty. Again, this is the only podcast that Jerry Seinfeld admits to listening to. I'm joined by Caleb.
Hi, Jerry.
And Gabe.
Hi, Jerry.
How are you guys doing? Good week?
Good.
So far, yeah.
No complaints.
Okay, don't answer because we've got to get into our first real segment here. And that's What's New, Man? In parentheses with you guys.
Yeah.
What's Newman? What's Newman? What's Newman with you guys?
What's Newman with you, Caleb?
Not much this week. Nothing big happened. I did decide finally to take the bidet off of my toilet.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yes, because
Mhm.
it was causing frustrations between me and my wife. She's okay with the bidet. She likes what it does, but it makes the toilet seat not stay on the toilet.
Mm.
The toilet seat comes off the toilet if you have this bidet installed.
That's a real.
It's not great. It really, it's a huge annoyance. And so you know what? I said, I decided to be a man and take the bidet off of my toilet today.
Yeah.
And so it seems like a bummer.
That is a bummer.
Because I like the bidet, I like what it does,
Mhm.
but
yeah, you got very into what it
Yes.
does.
but, well, why have it if you don't like what it does? You know?
Sure.
I guess why even talk about it if you have it?
Yeah, I mean, but it's just I'm kind of like, oh man, and now I don't have any bidet. I mean, I have it, but it's not hooked up anywhere, so I'm just gonna be not using a bidet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the biggest thing that's been happening to me.
That's a significant decrease in quality of life, I think.
I was gonna say, I think that given the choice between a functioning toilet seat and a bidet, I would go with a bidet.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I'm really more concerned about
What it does.
what it does, what the bidet does,
Yeah.
than what, no toilet seat would do.
Yeah, I guess I could have but it's like,
I'm
that
more,
might be a good choice is to just
Yeah.
get rid of the toilet seat. Just bidet.
try it out.
Just
I mean, what I'm doing, this is going to be an experiment too, because I didn't get rid of the bidet. I could still definitely use it, put it back on. But I definitely, I'll be interested to see, because it annoyed me too. It's not just that it annoys my wife.
Right.
It annoys me that my toilet seat doesn't work very well with the bidet on. So, yeah, I mean, live and let live, let and live, let.
So it's been a pretty rough week so far.
sounds bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. When I think about it.
You don't have to put a brave face on. You can be honest.
When I think about it, it's been bad.
Yeah, that's a bad week. Yeah, I had to take the
been
bidet off my toilet. That's a bad week.
It's a bad week.
Any week of the year.
Yeah.
Even
that's a
if
bad week.
the bidet is not working or malfunctioning, you got to take it off.
Well, if you're replacing it,
Yeah, with a better bidet.
upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Gabe, what's new, man, with you?
Not a whole lot.
Guy.
It's been an interesting week. Some marital strife because we're it was money stuff. Money in marriage is always a pretty difficult thing to navigate. But my wife, when we were in the grocery store, I saw something that I wanted, and she wouldn't let me buy it, which I thought was pretty. And she said, "Oh, we don't want to spend the money on that." And I was like, "Well, I know that we have $14." And she said, "We don't need that." And
That's
it was these really cool fans that you kind of like like Bluetooth headphones, how they have that thing that goes around your neck sometimes.
Yeah.
It was like that, but instead of headphones, on the end of it are little mini fans that point at your face. And you can turn them on and they cool. Yeah. So they go around your neck and they perch on your collarbone.
Okay.
And they're pointed up. So it kind of looks like you have two big, I don't know, fan. I mean, they're little, I guess.
Two big
but
little
they're bigger,
fans.
but they're bigger than anything that's.
And these cost $50?
$14.
No, there's $7 for a pair.
Oh, $7.
$7.
And I asked
Oh,
her.
you were going to get some for her too?
I wanted to get them both. Well, it said that it's for work and play.
Okay.
Well,
So
that's pretty much all day long.
that covers both bases.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, usually I try to get some work done before I play.
Right.
Oh,
But that's pretty much, that's everything that's on the docket
Right.
is
yeah.
work and play.
Working and playing.
So, so that's been, it's been a rough week
Yeah.
because of that. But,
Feeling pretty hot.
we've had stuff like this happen before. Well, yeah, and I mean that's the thing. We start arguing, and my face gets hot, and then I cannot help but bring up.
Right.
You know what would really come in handy right now, love?
Right. Yeah.
You know what? You know what would really come in handy right now, babe? Is
at least one of these fans.
Yeah.
Did you try to do that? Go like, what if we got one of them?
I mean,
tried it out.
I kind of feel like we should just go for it. Just make the plunge.
Mm-hmm.
Get both.
Because I get them, I use them, I like them, and then she gets jealous, and then we're back to fighting again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
good
that
point.
kind of feels
good
like
point. If you're trying to lessen the strife.
Yeah, that was smart. You were ahead of the game on that
right.
one.
Yeah.
And she's cutting you off and preventing you from.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But one thing I was thinking was one thing I like about that is that I like when robots are like servants. So.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, so like the fans are little robots.
Yeah. Well, they are.
That is the best thing for robots to be.
Like servants.
Yeah. When they're.
So when they're doing a servanty type thing, more of a servanty type thing, less of a control type thing.
Yeah. When the robots are in control.
I'm not a huge fan of when I feel like, oh, I'm a servant of this robot.
Right. No, it's the ideal situation is for the robots to be the ones who are serving.
And it's like a robot bird.
Yeah.
That's a servant to you. Because it's like you're a, I don't know, pirate or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Birds are.
I mean, I don't think a fan is a robot. I think it's just a simple machine. Or not, maybe not simple, but it's just a machine.
I think
it's
a robot.
What does a robot do, Gabe?
Why
don't you explain to us what a robot does?
Yeah, why is this not a robot?
I would think that there's some sort of like, intelligence behind it, whether it's a programmed thing.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Were like slaves in ancient Egypt, were they intelligent?
Yeah.
Were they just people that fanned Pharaoh?
Sometimes.
I actually can't really argue with that. That's
okay.
Yeah.
They just did it until someone said on.
Yeah.
And then they said off.
I don't know what they said. They said it in Egyptian.
Well, they did not say those exact words, but it meant that.
Okay. Well, I just don't think we should be spreading that kind of disinformation.
Okay. Well, disinformation would mean that I knowingly said the wrong thing, but I'm not.
I don't know why you're trying to get us kicked off YouTube, Caleb.
I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to say that it's a misinformation.
Okay.
Oopsies.
Okay, well, time to move on to me. I wanted to talk a little bit about this couch. This is what's new, man, with me. We went and got this couch, and it was a real ordeal. But it was also awesome because we pranked the idiot that we brought it from.
That's true.
We totally pranked him. We totally pulled one over on him, and we agreed to his asking price immediately. We didn't negotiate with him at all.
Good.
So that was kind of one big thing, just to make him feel kind of at ease.
Right.
And so then we, but Gabe had been dealing with him the whole time on Facebook. So, but Gabe's car is too small to fit the couch in. So I had to go. And Gabe said, Josh, you have to be me. You have to be Gabe. And I was like, okay, this is the role of a lifetime. And so I spent some time kind of studying Gabe, and he didn't want me to spend the night at his house. But because, you said we work together. Isn't that enough time to just kind of
Well, yeah. And I mean, I think
we
had lulled him into a sense of security with the asking price,
right.
meeting him there. I thought that was enough. And he would just buy it. Also, he doesn't know me. He's never met me.
Right.
So he would have nothing. He would have no reason to believe that you weren't me.
Right. That's true. But I went and I took my wife along for protection, and we got there. And
what did you call your wife? What was her name in this instance?
Well, I mean, I just went with what kind of came naturally, and she was Gertrude.
Okay.
So we were Gabe and Gertrude, And I coached her the whole way there, and she said, "I don't think this is necessary." And I said, "Well, I do think it's necessary because I'm not me." So anyway, we got there, and he was kind of asking questions like he wanted to make sure that the couch was like going to a good home. He was like, "What are you going to do with it?" He it wasn't quite that adversarial, but it was a little bit like, "Oh, what are you doing with the couch?" And I said, "Oh, I'm gonna put it in my shop." And he said, "Oh, like a wood shop?" And my wife said, "It probably should be a wood shop." And I said, "Okay, well, it's not a wood shop." He's like, "Oh, well, what do you do with it?" And I said, "Well, if we're not doing anything weird with your couch. It's totally all we're gonna do is use it to record podcasts about Seinfeld."
Are you serious?
It's a really strange question for someone to ask you. What are you going to be doing with the couch?
Yeah,
because what
I was
what do you
surprised,
think?
and I didn't really want to answer him directly.
Yeah, like putting our asses on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna
Like when we sit,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
not just like just like aggressively putting our
I should
asses
have
on.
nudged him and been like, "Hey,
Better question would be what
Hey,
we're
man.
not gonna do.
Yeah.
on it.
Hey, man.
hey, buddy." Everybody, it's time for our next segment, and that's the SeinOpsis.
Now it's time to summarize the episode of Seinfeld. Synopsis.
So here we go. This segment is where we go over the episode that we watched, season 1, episode 2, the Stakeout. Guys, just in general, what did we think of the episode? Good episode, bad episode, you enjoy yourselves? Did you notice time passing?
I loved it. Yeah, I mean, you get to see Elaine.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so let's just go through it kind of beat by beat.
I didn't say what I thought.
I don't care.
Okay.
The opening stand-up bit is about women writing checks. They don't have to find the checkbook. They know right where it is. They've got a holster. And men, and then he goes on this whole thing about how men like to have cash because there's no paper trail when they buy unregistered firearms.
Right.
Yep. And I love this side of Jerry. Just that kind of like, that masculine attitude that he brings.
I mean, and then he talks about, and really, if you're really a real man, then you're buying unregistered firearms with silver.
Right.
Or gold.
Yes. He's like, guys, can we be honest? You don't really feel like a man unless you got a bar of silver or gold.
Yeah.
That you're plunking down.
And that
for
has
an
nothing
unregistered
to do
firearm.
with Jerry Seinfeld being Jewish.
Right.
Yeah. No, I didn't think it hadn't even crossed my
Just
mind at all.
saying that for some people who might listen to this and go, "Oh, they're talking about Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He's Jewish, so of course he likes silver."
Okay.
That
And this
is not what we're saying. We're saying it's more in the sense of like libertarian style.
Right.
Like how Jerry is like, they're like he's a libertarian.
Okay.
Well, and he's really a student of humanity,
Yeah.
It's just it's something that I really appreciate about his stand-up is that he really understands people. He really, he's watching and he has his, point of view and everything. Right. But he really gets that at the end of the day, that's why men carry cash is so that they can continually buy unregistered firearms.
Right.
Yeah, and no paper trail.
Right.
No
exactly.
paper trail.
And so it's just that you don't get that if you're not paying attention. And that's what he's doing. He's paying attention.
Right.
Right.
So.
And one of the big things is that because in the pilot episode they didn't have Elaine, now this one of the main things they need to do in this episode is set up Elaine.
Right.
So you get to have a little bit of the backstory. You get to learn that Jerry was doing a show in Morocco. Elaine was a concubine there, and Jerry helped her flee.
Right.
And that's such a fun kind of little detail that they just throw in there.
I really enjoyed that, but
Yeah.
it did seem like the episode spent a lot of time with Elaine and very little time with Kramer,
Right.
and very little time with George, and honestly, very little time with Jerry,
Right.
because a lot of the episodes seem to be like going on these adventures with Elaine as a concubine and
Right.
setting her up.
Yeah. Yep. I know. And there's, and, you know, they kind of do LA for Morocco,
Yeah.
but they do it well.
Yeah.
You can tell that they really, they, again, you know, the set dressing is pretty immaculate. They went all out.
Right.
And she's kind of running through the streets and she's jumping into, you know, baskets
Right.
and evading guys with big, you know, scimitars.
I like the scene when she's supporting the Shah.
Right.
And she it kind of slips out in the middle of the night and she steals some of his valuables.
Right.
And then you know that she has the valuables with her.
Yeah.
While all that stuff is happening.
Right.
And so you're kind of going, is Elaine going to get away with the Shah's valuables this
Right.
whole time?
Yeah.
And eventually she meets Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately asks her for some valuables.
Right.
And so she does get away
Right.
with the valuables. So
Right.
the question is answered.
Yeah.
So that's one part that I
Yeah.
liked.
Yep. Yeah, it was that was really fun. And then also once they, you know, obviously they dated for a while. It's important for like the
Right.
history of
I think
the
that was part of the
the
agreement
show.
too.
Right. Yep. That was
Valuables and
a little you know,
right.
folie
Gabe?
à deux.
Right, Gabe?
Yeah, we assume that happened.
Right.
We don't
Yeah,
know.
they don't. It's
They
not
don't
on
show it.
screen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
They do make some references to like the relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you mean just that there was some sort of contract that necessitated it?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't.
Because I would say that's not really her fleeing,
Right.
you know, and escaping her life as a concubine.
Right.
That would just
No,
be
no,
her
no.
being transferred.
Continue- Right.
Yeah, she's maintained as a concubine
Yeah.
of Jerry's.
Yeah. Jerry agrees to go to a birthday party if Elaine will go with him to a wedding. And at the birthday party, he meets an attractive, witty woman. He likes her sense of humor immediately. And one of the things that you can tell he really zeroes in on is that she admits that she sells unregistered firearms. And you can really see him kind of perk up at that point. He's like, oh, wow. But unfortunately, he doesn't get a name.
Yes.
He knows where she works. You guys remember where she works?
No,
Is it Winchester, Remington?
Glock.
Sorry.
Winchester, Remington, Glock.
Yeah.
No, it's Sagman, Bennett, Robbins, Oppenheim, and Taft.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Other gun makers.
That's right. Yeah. But so that, you know, he locks that away in his mind. He thinks it might be important information. So then Elaine is irritated with Jerry's flirting and all that. And you can see her kind of, you know, she hasn't had to deal with Jerry in this situation before. And that gets really, that's upsetting to her.
Yeah.
So, and they're in the cab on the way home and she kind of rips this vial of Jerry's blood from around her neck and throws it out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you know that contract is up.
Yeah.
When there's other potential concubines out there.
Yeah.
And the one kind of mainstay concubine is getting upset.
Right.
And you kind of go,
Yeah.
oh, maybe we should advance this past the concubine stage.
Right. Yeah. You mean I'm sorry, I didn't follow.
Sorry, with
That-
Elaine.
with
When
Elaine.
she throws his blood out,
Yes.
she's going, I think we're done with this whole
Right.
concubine thing.
Right. Yes.
Jerry goes,
she's
I have to admit,
she dissolves the
I
relationship.
have to admit, I'm kind of done with it too.
Yeah.
And
Even though it seems like they had kind of been done with it previous. But
they were
She
done
was-
with it, but this was like,
She was carrying a torch and Jerry was
Right.
keeping his options open. Probably.
Yes, probably.
And I loved when they, you know, they make New York a character in the
Right.
show.
Oh, yeah.
Really, it's like
they're driving down the street and
they're driving down the street.
And New York's kind of being ticklish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she throws the vial out and then it cuts to somebody who's about to take a bite of a hot dog
yeah,
and the vial lands
yeah.
in there and the guy bites down and it cracks open.
Yeah.
And he's like
And it's what I liked about it is that it's Kramer.
right.
Yeah.
And he recognizes, he goes, Jerry?
Yeah. He's
Yeah. Well, he takes a bite and he goes, tastes familiar. And then he takes another bite.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he goes, I'm sorry, he doesn't say Jerry. He says Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah.
right. It's more
Well, no, at first he does kind of, he's like, tastes
Jerry?
familiar. Jerry? Jerry.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's a great way that they work. Kramer doesn't have a lot to do. In
Doesn't
this
have a lot to
episode.
do. That's how they make New York a character and Kramer a character.
Yeah. So it turns out that Jerry's parents are, of course, staying with him for the wedding, and the family wedding that they're in town for that, and we catch up with them after they have, accidentally stabbed and robbed a bookie, and they're things are kind of going nuts in the apartment. Jerry comes back and they're kind of in a state. They're not like, they're surprisingly cool about it really, but they're still agitated. you know?
Yeah. So wait, I'm sorry. I missed this part a little bit.
Okay.
And then I kind of zoned out when you said who stabbed who
Jerry's
accidentally-
parents.
Jerry's parents.
You don't remember Jerry's parents?
I was trying to remember, but
One thing, we might as well talk about it.
Okay.
We want to be prepared
Yeah.
for these things. So we want
Totally.
to watch the episodes and we want to, pay attention to what's going on.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
That was just
Are
a
you?
little lapse. There was
Okay.
a little bit of
Yeah.
a lapse.
Well, Jerry's parents have to. They get in kind of over their heads and get into a sticky situation. They have to stab.
Accidentally.
It's an accident, but yeah.
The situation they're in is an accident.
Right.
The way out is stab a bookie.
And rob him.
Yes.
It's just funny because, they're not, you said they're not losing their heads necessarily, but
Right.
they're, Jerry comes back to the apartment and the energy is,
Yeah.
up there and they explain what happened. Jerry, we stabbed a bookie and we robbed him.
Mhm.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
And he's like, what is it? Your first time in New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like, he's not going to look at the camera or, but
Yeah.
it's got that vibe
Yeah.
to it.
And
Yes.
the difference of approach and feeling between his parents, because his mom is sort of like sad about it, but his dad is sort of like kind of gloating to Jerry.
Yeah.
Mm.
He's sort
Yeah.
of like,
Yeah.
he's standing back while his mom is
Yeah.
crying.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't believe I had to do it. And she
Yeah.
actually is
She
the
was-
one that
Right.
did all of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
She was definitely.
And he's just
And Morty just
is,
kind of
standing back there. And he thinks she's cool now.
Yeah.
At first, they kind of established that Morty doesn't think
His wife
his
is very
wife
cool.
is very cool. And
Yeah.
then they get in this sticky situation where she has to stab and rob
Mhm.
a bookie, and he's there,
Right.
and he goes, "Now this is cool.
Now we're talking.
Now this is cool.
Now this is a marriage.
But they do bicker a lot.
Yeah.
So when they're relating the story to Jerry, there's a little bit of, and as I was stabbing him, all he could do is criticize the way I held the knife,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. They're going
Yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you get more thrust.
And he was
if
like,
you-"
more-
"Don't
more
take
test-
all of his money."
Yeah. Leave him some.
right.
Leave him some money.
Yeah.
Don't when you rob somebody, you don't take
Take
all
of
the
the
money.
money. Don't take all of the
It's
money.
rude to take
All of the money. It's rude to stab and rob someone and then take all of the money.
Oh, so you're gonna stab this guy, rob him, and take all of
take
his
all of
money?
his
Come
money.
on, leave him some money.
Leave him some money.
Leave him enough for a fare to the hospital.
The man's got hospital bills. Yeah, and he's like, hold the wrist straight. The
Yeah.
wrist has to be. He's like, what did you want?
Yeah, she's like, "What do you learn from a horror film?
Yeah.
Not like that."
But Jerry realizes that the bookie's people are gonna have an issue with this. That this is going to be a problem, and so he's like, "Oh, I think maybe I know where we can get some unregistered firearms so that we can protect ourselves. He's not able to buy legitimate firearms because of, a laundry list of priors that prevent him from doing that.
Right.
But it's also
he's a felon.
He's a felon. He's a multiple felon.
Yeah.
Can't vote. We also get the sense that maybe some of this. Sorry, I just spit on you.
That's okay. I like it.
Okay, good. I'll do it again. We get the sense that maybe some of this is just an excuse to try to find this woman, and his father's really supportive of him going to find this woman and essentially stalking her. His father said, go, you know where she works. Go there.
He says, go hunt,
go hunt. Yeah. He's kind of doing a call back to the first episode with Kramer.
Right.
Yeah.
Hunt for a woman.
Also does
another concubine.
Go hunt. So anyway, they George and Jerry go and they stake out the building where this woman is. And of course, George builds his backstory, which is great. That's, it's totally unnecessary, but we get to see George kind of elaborating and deliberating over all the things that he would like to have as part of his backstory there.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting choices that Jason Alexander makes. Mm-hmm. And it's weird because it kind of comes through that he's not really able to separate the character from the actor. Right. And so it is odd that he says that he's a lead on a sitcom on NBC.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a fairly balding lead
on
a sitcom on NBC.
Right.
A little bit portly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And balding.
The husky, right?
He's husky. Yeah, he's husky. That's right.
He's husky.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes into detail.
A husky lead.
My name, I changed my name for show business.
Yeah.
That's part of his backstory.
Right.
It's like, I had a name that sounded one way.
And now
I wanted it to sound a different way.
Right. I wanted it to sound like Jason Alexander.
The name I wanted it to sound like.
And that's the name that it does sound like now.
Yeah.
That's
he definitely struggles to come up with something. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because usually you think this is all written out. Mm-hmm. That this part, but I guess this is one episode where they let Jason kind of have at it.
Yep.
When you got him,
all that he could come up with was describing his exact self.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is good in this. It doesn't actually hurt the episode at all. No. It's great.
It grounds it. It's real.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a guy who's in a show on NBC.
Yeah.
I changed my name.
And so that's just quotable classic George stuff.
Yeah. I changed my name.
Mm-hmm. Jerry. I changed my name, Jerry, to Jason Alexander. But this is also where we first get Art Vandelay.
Yes.
That idea coming in.
Yes.
And that's great. So then they find the woman, and Jerry is able to purchase a dozen unregistered firearms.
Yes.
And feels much better. And he's also, she's impressed with this kind of purchase. Jerry's kind of throwing around money, buying guns in the lobby of an office building.
Yeah.
And
he makes some paper airplanes out of some of them, and it's like,
makes paper airplanes out of guns.
Yeah. Well, he tries.
Oh.
He sends some of the money over that way.
Oh,
and then as a joke, he's like, okay, now I'm going to do it with the guns too.
Throwing money around.
That's on me.
No, it's fine. Because he does. There is a scene. It gets confusing because later on he's like, now I'm going to make paper airplanes out of these guns.
There's that.
And he's
not paper, Jerry.
Yeah. That's good. That was a good Jason Alexander.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Well, I changed my name.
For show business. Yeah. Yeah. So, and basically she agrees to go on a date. At the end of the episode, Elaine shows up at Jerry's apartment and she realizes, she's got to get over this whole thing with Jerry. And that really sets up the relationship for the rest of the show. It's very neatly done. But part of me, just doesn't buy it.
Yeah.
That's not really how that would go down.
No, because I felt like you feel like that kind of relationship between, I don't know, what do you call a concubine guy, the guy in the concubine relationship?
Yeah, I think.
The concubiner?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you call him the concubiner.
I just call him Jerry.
Yeah. Well,
right.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying that relationship between a concubine and the concubiner is, I don't think it goes away that smoothly.
There's a lot of legal stuff.
But definitely.
But that's
red
part of
tape.
what the episode is, they're moving beyond that to the point that, hopefully we can hope this for all relationships between concubines and their concubiners, that they can move into just being friends.
Eventually.
That is the goal.
And the concubine can talk about other concubiners with the former concubiner.
Yeah.
And then the concubiner can talk to the concubine about other concubines. And that's fine.
And everyone is getting along still.
It's the goal, but it's an impossible dream and I don't buy it.
It is,
right.
Yeah. But at the end, we get that last final scene. They're all back in Jerry's apartment and they're all getting ready for, the inevitable retribution that's headed their way. They're all sort of slapping magazines into rifles.
Yes.
And Jerry really gets to have kind of a hero moment as he's preparing to defend his parents.
Yeah.
It's a very noble moment at the end of the episode.
I love it.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites is when he goes, "Say hello to my little friend." And then George comes out.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's set up so well.
And he picks George up
out, and George is holding a gun. Yeah. George is holding a AR-15.
And then really, Kramer, we get to see kind of what Kramer's been up to, and he's been designing a ghost gun.
Oh yeah. Finally.
Yep.
Was that like a gun that shoots ghosts as ammunition or shoots
I don't know
ghosts
what it
as
is,
targets?
but I like the name.
Yeah. Well, okay. So let's get into it. All of these things are potentially what he doesn't really explain. There is, now it's become more common for there to be ghost guns, which are guns that are untraceable. They can be sold without, a serial number. And basically the idea is that if you just finish part of the assembly on your own, and it just takes a couple hours, real easy. It can be sold.
Right.
It could be sold to you with
really just
totally untraceable.
Really, just the part of the gun that has the serial number on it.
Right.
If you can manufacture that somehow,
that's all you have to do. And really, you just have to bore out a couple little things, and it fits together. And there you go. You got a ghost gun.
Kramer's so good at that.
Kramer, and he's got a whole marketing plan. Of course, we know that this is going nowhere.
It's harebrained.
It's a harebrained scheme, but it's also not clear what kind of ghost gun Kramer is designing. If it might be a gun that either he believes shoots ghosts as ammunition,
right?
Or is a Ghostbusters
One
type.
thing that I was thinking was, right, this is a ghost gun because you shoot someone, they die, they become a ghost.
It's just a normal gun.
Yeah.
That's true.
Even though they spent a lot of time with Kramer kind of going there and there, here and there, talking about it, they don't get into the details.
They don't get into that, but I was secretly going, secretly to myself.
To yourself.
As I was I didn't just say it out loud to my wife, who watched the episode with me, despite our argument about bidet. I didn't just go,
it's very big of you.
Maybe he means you shoot this gun will make a ghost of someone.
Right. Yeah.
That's why it's a ghost gun.
Right. No, that's good. I think we got there before.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it shoots a ghost at somebody.
and makes them a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
It creates,
it's bullets. Do you ever see a bullet like a ghost? You know?
Yeah, you can see them.
you can see them.
Okay.
They're physical objects.
Take your word for it.
In the world,
Take your word for it.
inside of the 3 dimensions.
That we call reality.
Can you take a picture? Can you take a picture of a bullet?
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
definitely. I've
Usually
seen 'em.
kind of weird looking,
Yeah.
When you see
Have you seen a picture of a bullet or
No.
just a shell?
right?
And,
No, I've seen a picture of a bullet.
Right.
For sure.
and maybe, so you've seen the picture.
I don't believe it.
I don't know that I have. Just a bullet?
Have you guys
Just
ever
a
seen
single bullet?
somebody shoot a watermelon with a slow-mo camera?
Yes, but there's no bullet.
You don't see the bullet.
Oh, yeah, in
I'm
a
trying to
slow-mo
remember.
camera.
Oh,
Well, that's
slow-mo.
that's capturing like
That's fake stuff.
That's quantum
that's
level.
VFX. And
That's-
it's VFX.
That's electrons at the quantum level. I
I don't think so.
I'm pretty
Oh.
sure bullets are kind of like ghosts in that they're that thing you're like, we are pretty sure they're there, but we've never seen them.
that's possible. I think
I
that's
mean-
true. I think that's true, Gabe. You're gonna have to just sit this one out, and it's time for that's it for our synopsis. Time for our next segment. Buyin'Feld.
Buyin'Feld, buying all the stuff on Seinfeld. The cost is making my mind melt. My bank account is empty, my family left me now. There's nothing to do but die. Buyin'Feld.
Guys, this is a segment called Buyin'Feld.
Yeah.
And it like buying felt like Seinfeld Buyin'Feld. And the idea is that these are products that are based on that we've come up with that are based on things in the episode. So I wanted to start off with one that I thought of. It's called it's a book by Morty Seinfeld, Jerry's father, called How to Stalk Women.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
He
would.
clearly has
Yeah.
some opinions on
He
Well, and
definitely does.
he's got a fatherly
yeah.
attitude for it and
Yeah.
everything. So I think it works. It's like an advice. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it's how to stalk
How to
women.
stalk women.
And
Yeah.
you look at the guy and you're like, he knows what he's talking about.
He knows what he's talking
exactly
about.
what he's talking about.
and it's not creepy in the way that
Yeah.
he's talking about it.
And,
Right.
It's
and
very practical, makes sense.
what's interesting is this
Find out details.
later on they replaced this actor. And
Right.
I think it was because he had some of the same trouble that Jason Alexander had with
Yeah.
separating his kind of acting role from his actual
Self.
life,
Yeah.
and had gotten very into stalking women.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And by that,
couldn't
you
really
mean
keep him around.
when you sorry, really quick
Mhm.
note of clarification.
Yeah.
By
Don't
stalking,
touch me.
Okay, by stalking women,
Mhm.
you mean like filling up your concubine.
Oh, I see.
filling
Yes,
up
like
the-
STOCKING,
Yeah, right.
like stocking up
Like you get
on a
a
harem.
bunch of for a harem.
Yeah. No, this is STALK. I don't know which would be better,
oh,
right.
but
For some reason, I
Right.
feel like
Right. Sorry.
following women
yeah,
without their knowing
Yeah.
is better than collecting women in a harem.
yeah,
But
you?
it's like
yeah.
It's hard to
You
know
know?
because
It really
because
is
there's
6
some-
of one, half a dozen of
some
another
sort
at a
of
certain level.
consent involved with the harem, I think, and there's
I don't
really
think
not
so.
even an option for consent when you're stalking someone.
Yeah, but you could just be. I mean, they're all different levels of stalking.
I mean, that's true.
Because sometimes really
You might do one for the other.
Yeah, at some point you
it
might
leads to it.
you might just be hanging out somewhere where you think a woman, we've probably all done something like that.
What?
Just hanging out somewhere where you think someone might show up.
Like a concubine. Okay.
It wasn't necessary. I was just
Or
thinking,
you mean-
like if you when we were younger men
Oh yeah.
pursuing women.
I'll go to the soccer game even though I don't care about soccer.
Yeah.
Because maybe if I
Right.
go to this social event,
Yeah.
maybe I could find a woman that
Sure.
I can put
Right.
in my harem.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we all did things like, go to the coffee shop where we think someone's going to be,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
where we know that they're going, where we know they're going to be. And we know when they shift ends.
I'm gonna
Right.
go to the Dairy
And-
Queen and get a Blizzard because I know the girl there that
and I know when her shift ends.
I know exactly when her shift ends.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll wait there and see her get in her car,
Right.
and then just follow that.
Right. And it's yeah.
Is that in the book? Would that be in the book?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Morty seems like a conscientious guy. It seems like something he'd include.
He would, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's exhaustive.
Yeah.
You can look forward to that.
Yep. So anyway, guys, what other Buyin'Feld products?
One idea I had was a portable vending machine. So you rent the vending machine, and you can take it, or you can lug it around with you, and that way you have treats like you need for a stakeout.
Yeah.
You
Love
know?
it.
So you can, I don't know.
Is it like inflatable? Or is it just like
Yeah, it's
a fold
inflatable.
out?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
inflatable.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to pump it up. All the treats are in there, secured. It does cost money.
So yeah, you buy it.
You buy it. Well, you rent it.
Oh, you rent it.
You rent it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you have to use it to, you still have to pay money.
Okay.
You get one treat free.
Do you get a cut?
You
of
get one
what-
treat free.
But do you
Yeah.
get a cut of what's sold through the vending machine?
Well, okay, yeah. If someone else buys something that's not you,
Yeah.
then you have to keep track. You
Okay.
can keep
So
track
you're
of
in
that.
there. You're keeping track. Well, that's nice. It kind of gives you something to do while you're waiting.
While you're waiting,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
good.
actually go, oh, I'm just with this vending machine.
I like
If
it.
someone comes up,
Yeah.
that way you don't even actually have to have like an alibi or
That'd
like
be
a
good.
or
That'd
like
be
a backstory. You can go, oh, actually, I'm just with the vending machine.
That'd be a good. Yeah, just immediately, just anybody walks up, you go, I'm with the vending machine.
Anyone walks by you
And
at all, you say,
Seriously, people are just going to be like, "Oh yeah,
no, perfectly,
that's fine.
makes sense.
Oh yeah, he's with the vending machine.
That vending machine does look like it needs someone to be with it.
right."
Yeah, we want an unattended vending machine.
This kind of vending machine doesn't seem like one that it should be unattended.
Yeah. One of the other products that I thought would be useful is a hat. You'll remember when he meets this woman. Was her name Vanessa? I think her name was Vanessa.
No,
It wasn't?
Sarah?
no,
Pretty sure it was Vanessa.
I don't think it is.
Oh, I
Go
think it
ahead.
was Vanessa.
Go ahead.
Anyway, are you willing to go to bat on this? Let's
I
find
don't
out.
think it was.
Let's find out if it was Vanessa or not. And
Okay.
what are you willing to put up?
You can have one of my cigarettes.
I do not smoke. But I will take one of your cigarettes and crush it in front of you.
That's okay.
Okay, so we'll find out. Who's right there. But the hat, I was a little bit confounded by this thing that happens because they're talking, and initially, and she says, "Well, what what if we tip this guy to stop playing?" They're talking about the piano player,
Right.
right? And then he says, "Well, I'll throw in $5." And she goes, "I've got a hat." But every time they do the reverse shot on Jerry there, you can see that there's a tip jar sitting there for the piano player.
Yeah.
I was confused, but apparently this hat is a better receptacle for money. It didn't make sense to me.
What's that part of New York that's all bohemian?
Well, like
The
when?
Village?
The Village.
The Village. Greenwich.
Greenwich Village. That's where like passing the hat started, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe they're in
Well,
Greenwich
passing,
Village.
right. So it makes sense that if they're going to pass the hat, but ultimately there's a tip jar right there.
I
Yeah.
thought what she meant was, well, if once we pay him enough, put enough money in the tip jar to
Right.
get him to stop playing, give him something to do, wear the hat.
Yeah.
We'll pass the hat.
We'll pass the hat to him because then
Yeah.
gonna
now
be bored.
instead of
Yeah.
playing piano, you can just sit at the piano
Right.
wearing a hat.
You just wear
And-
a hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just got to do some.
Just no, not too much stuff. It's not your hat.
Listen, well, and also,
Yeah.
I mean, I would
You're allowed
personally-
to have this hat for a moment.
Oh, see, I thought she would just
Oh.
give him the hat. She didn't seem too attached to it, but
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know. I thought that he could just do whatever he wanted with the hat.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was with it.
Yep.
I guess.
They give him some money and then
Not what I would do.
He gets a hat.
Not what I would do.
Okay. Did you guys have any other products for Buyin'Feld?
Wooden teeth.
Wooden teeth.
Just Seinfeld brand wooden teeth.
Okay.
That would help sales.
Yeah.
For sure. I was thinking a mini business card printer.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can make it up on the fly, kind of like a label maker, but
Yeah.
you just
A
tap it
baby
in.
label
Art-
maker junior.
Art
regifting.
Vandelay, importer, exporter, immediately.
Exactly. You can come up with the name, the occupation, the
Now,
address, the
Are
number.
you going to have a
that you can,
logo? No logo.
no, it'll randomly generate a logo
Mhm.
Oh,
for
okay.
you. Easy.
Easy
Yeah.
peasy.
What if it is kind of incongruous with
Well,
It
what you're
won't be.
doing?
It'll be perfect.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, when Gabe says perfect, I think what he's thinking of is he just likes logos that are just anchors.
Right.
And it's just always an anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It communicates,
Yeah.
solidity
Right.
and strength.
Right.
In the midst of instability.
And, there's kind of a nautical theme, which that's fun.
For
Yeah,
me,
it's always.
the thing that I'm always more interested in is like a kind of like a creepy eyeball.
Yeah. So the last one I had here, guys, is an Everybody Loves Seinfeld ghost gun. Our own branded
Oh, good idea.
ghost gun. So people can check it out, get on everybodylovesseinfeld.com and you can, check out some of these products, but especially our Everybody Loves Seinfeld branded ghost gun.
Yeah. And
Totally untraceable.
figure out what we mean by that.
Right. Yeah. You'll find it there.
Yeah.
Like a ghost, it is untraceable.
Yes.
And who knows what that means? The bullets might be ghosts.
Well, we know that bullets are like ghosts.
Right.
I think we all.
I don't agree with that.
Okay. Well,
I think bullets are metal.
okay. That's fine.
They're metal.
Little
Sure.
bits of metal.
Right. Well, no, the shell
yeah.
is metal.
Yeah. A shell is metal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're saying inside is a little ghost.
I'm saying
We don't know.
know.
We're not sure. We haven't seen it.
It's hard to know.
One quick question about the ghost gun, the Seinfeld ghost gun.
Mhm.
What about it is making it so Seinfeld
Well, it just says Everybody Loves Seinfeld.
on it?
Yeah, just
Okay.
kind of on the stock.
I was trying to think of other like Seinfeld stuff we could do to it. It's already made though.
Yeah, sorry, it's in production and we just
never
have to
mind.
live with it.
That sounds cool though.
Yeah.
Because
I-
someone's gonna be like, what?
Yeah.
If you go to, I don't know, war with it.
Yeah. Well,
But you go and like,
I guess it's not totally untraceable since it is branded.
it's kind of a one of a kind.
Well, honestly-
in that Seinfeld is involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
If one of them
We should
turns
make.
up,
Let's make more than one.
Oh, we should definitely make more. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. We should let's make a lot and
Yeah.
make them very cheap
yeah.
yeah, and if one of them,
and just sell them to whoever.
Well, that's the point of a ghost gun.
if one of them turns up in the commission of a crime,
Right.
I'm pretty sure we're the first people they would go to.
Well, I mean, I don't think the kind of person that's going to buy that gun is going to do
Okay,
crime.
right. That's
Right.
the hope, because that's definitely the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's maybe mostly a self-defense
Right.
assault rifle.
I think that primarily people who are buying ghost guns are doing so simply to own a piece of Seinfeld history.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Yep.
The mail never stops, Jerry. The mail never stops, Jerry.
Okay, and here we go on the Mail Never Stops, Jerry. This is the segment where we read a piece of mail from a listener, viewer. And if you want to get in touch with us, go ahead and send us an email at everyoneloveseinfeld1s@gmail.com. This one is from,
Did you say listener, viewer?
I'm sorry, listener, viewer. Thank
Right.
you.
Okay, just
That's Guys, I love the way that we're working together. You guys keep me honest.
I don't know.
Jick Tarwell from Bastard, Kentucky says,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I know. I was not excited to see this, but we don't have other mail.
Yeah.
The show is good. He said that last time.
Okay.
Do more posts of you wearing shorts and the shorts being not as long.
Okay.
So he wants to. I don't know that we've done any posts of us wearing shorts. Did we decide last time?
Last time Gabe said that he posted pictures of us. I guess that he surreptitiously took.
Yeah.
And then posted.
No, you guys, it was full consent.
What?
I got full consent.
Anyway, apparently he's complaining about the shorts being not long, or he wants them to be not as long. I guess he wants us to wear shorter shorts.
Short shorts? Okay. Well, see ya.
Wait,
what? You just feel that that's doable. Okay. He says, and the shirts have been damaged by supportive fans, and more skin is free to the eye.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Supportive fans?
The shirts have been damaged by supportive fans.
Not the
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not the
those.
shoulder fans. Just I don't know. I don't know.
So he wants us to look like we've been like crawling, like the shorts are just shorter. That's just shorter.
Yeah.
But then the shirts are like kind of torn and we're kind of bedraggled. Like people have been wanting to get close, mobbing us like the Beatles.
Something that would happen to the Beatles.
Okay.
Okay. I think Jerry in this episode did not behave like the cricket should tell him to. Is that
the cricket
a Pinocchio thing? Like Jerry's not obeying his
conscience.
Conscience.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, why?
Well, let's see if he says helping his parents who have pushed in a knife on upstanding bookie. Don't you think Jerry should have turned his parents in?
Well, it does depend. Bookies are usually not great.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess what kind of makes me mad about this kind of a question is it treats the characters like the show believes in their morality.
Right.
And that's not the case. That's not the case. The show always presents characters, the characters in Seinfeld doing like reprehensible things that you shouldn't do, but the show knows you're not supposed to. The show knows you're not supposed to do that.
Well, yeah.
So to me, this is like a misunderstanding of what the show is.
Yeah,
and it's what you would expect.
Yeah, honestly,
from Jick Tarwell.
Oh yeah, let's have Jerry be a dentist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or let's have Jerry's parents come to town and just kind of sit in a bed and go to a wedding.
Right.
Yeah.
And do nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically nothing. Just like,
they sit in a bed, they play Scrabble.
Ask him
let's go to a wedding. And
ask him about his relationship with Elaine.
Yeah. Let's have a heartfelt conversation about between a son and his parents about his relationships.
And
okay. Well, how are the VFX going to get involved?
That sounds like
how are we going to make use of all these other things?
Yeah,
that sounds like a much better show than one where the son procures a bunch of unregistered firearms to help defend his family after they've gotten themselves into a pickle, admittedly, and I don't think they're proud of it. No. But you have to live with the consequences of your actions. You have to face them.
Mrs. Seinfeld.
That's kind of what this is getting at.
Mrs. Seinfeld is visibly upset about what her husband instructed her to do.
Right.
And so at no point are they saying this is good and should be fine.
But it was effective.
It was effective.
Yes.
And I do think that we see Jerry get judged, like in the credit sequence there where Elaine is digging a slug out of Jerry's arm.
Yeah.
And he's kind of wincing and, pouring whiskey on the wound and everything.
Some in his mouth.
And some in his mouth. He's having a little drink himself.
Yeah, sure.
That's come on. The show knows what's going on morally with its characters.
Right.
Don't be so close-minded and stupid.
Please don't write in ever again, Jake.
Yeah, let's do let's do different guys.
Yeah.
Let's do different guys.
Yeah. So if you have a question, please write in, and you can be included in the Mail Never Stops, Jerry.
Not
And
Jake.
where would you send that?
That's everybodyloveseinfeld@gmail.com. That's 1S. It's the end of the show. Time for our final thoughts. And one other thing. What should we call our supporters, our fans out there? We need to think about it. We don't have to come up with it right now, but it's something I wanted to put out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Jerry's?
Jerry's?
Like the
Like the Germans.
Like the British called the Germans.
Germans in World War II.
Jerry's.
Yeah. What about
1 and 2
Jerry's?
probably.
Jerry's. Yeah.
Well,
Is that good?
I don't really know that I love that what that says about our fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe our fans would really resonate with that.
Maybe they're into
Not
it.
sure.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Sign feelers.
Seinfelders.
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 Why don't we just call them everybody's?
Everybody's.
Everybody's.
Hey,
Hey, everybody's.
Hey, everybody's. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can keep that open.
I was thinking we should just call them all by their name.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's
true.
that. I'm sure that's going to be entirely feasible.
Yeah. We could just have a section
We'll just
where
get
we read off
all the people who subscribe, we'll email them and
Right.
get all their
All their
names and then
names.
just say,
And what email would we be emailing
and if
them
they're
from?
listening or watching, we'll do a different one.
I guess we'd send it from everybodyloveseinfeld@gmail.com.
Okay, right.
So yeah, if you would like us to use your name in an episode of the show, write us a letter and tell us what your name is.
Yeah.
And maybe the folks out there in YouTube land or on the podcast would be able to, get back to us and with some ideas about what they would like to be called,
Right.
even if it isn't their name.
Please.
If it isn't your name, then at least send us some identifying information
Right,
about yourself, like a
a
social security number. Or
yes, or bank account routing information.
Yeah.
But we need to kind of do our summary.
Yes.
This is, in my opinion, this is a good episode.
Yeah.
It was fun. There's some laughs. There's some adventure. There's some exotic locales. It kind of had everything.
Yeah. You learn something.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of step away from this episode and you go, that's interesting.
That's interesting. Wow.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad that I learned about ghost guns
Mm-hmm.
and not really what they are, but that they exist.
Sure.
And that Elaine is now in this episode and that she does get to talk so much.
Mm-hmm.
And you come away going, oh, wow, it's still good.
This is still good.
If Elaine does do a lot of talking in the episode.
Yes. Yeah. Really, I wouldn't want it any other way.
No.
For this episode.
No. Yeah. Right, Gabe?
No, I think you're right. I think they went in the right direction on all that stuff. It doesn't feel too packed, even though it does have the prelude, the whole setup in Morocco.
Yeah.
And then the extended gun battle at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
You would think that it would get kind of unwieldy,
Right.
and everything. But it doesn't. It stays on track.
Yeah.
I do think that it's kind of an indictment on the episode that even though it has those big set pieces, those big moments, I liked it, but it just feels...
Well, they're not really things that people talk about down the road.
Right.
And they're hardly ever really called, like the Vandelay thing comes back.
Right.
And
A little bit, yeah.
Elaine, and Jerry having a history that comes back.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't go into the history.
Right. So,
Yeah. But I mean, it's pretty much like you see the aftermath of the battle.
Mhm.
And it's not like, it's panning across all of these corpses
Right.
surrounding Jerry's apartment
Right.
building. And, it's not like the next episode is them cleaning up the bodies
Right.
or dealing with
Right.
anything.
No.
Like it's kind of just left
Yeah.
on that. So it feels like it doesn't actually impact the rest of this. And it feels,
like,
honestly,
why?
the episode is just kind of like, even though it has those big things in it,
Right.
It's pretty skippable.
This
I
is
think.
skippable.
It's
You don't-
funny because when you're saying that, I was kind of thinking, wow, this is, I forgot about this part and where
Right.
it's going.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you go and you go, well, they don't really talk about this very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't have to see this one.
This one it's a skippable episode. Ultimately, you don't need to watch it to enjoy kind of the bigger world of Seinfeld.
Right. Eventually, there are some episodes that cannot be skipped, but this one, you're watching
this
it and
one.
you go, you can skip it.
You can skip it.
You might not want to. It is very funny
Mm-hmm.
and cool,
Yeah, you could enjoy it, but it's just not.
but it's not necessary.
It's not the show that we really come to know and love.
Right. Eventually, yes.
Guys, that's our show. Across the board, you can find us on various platforms as Everybody Loves Seinfeld. That's one S. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Everybody Loves Seinfeld there. And you can email us, as we said, Everybody Loves Seinfeld, 1S at gmail.com. We're looking for advertisers, so send us an email about advertising with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, Jerry.
Bye, Jerry.
I was going to say 1S, 3 asses.
Oh,
Oh, that's good.